Hi guys. Okay. I've actually been trying to do this for a while now, for the last 3 weeks, as a matter of fact, because we all know how lazy I am when it comes to typing, and we all know that it seems to be difficult for me to get onto Livejournal, either to read people's posts or to write posts, because of the nature, it seems, of the state that I'm now in, which is partly time just flies away from me or time just doesn't exist. It all depends on where you fall in that spectrum when you're here, and me, I seem to seesaw between the two. So, I'm trying to do this for 3 weeks now. I did take the advice that was given, and I went to because the way things run here, I thought about going to the health department with my eldest to get his shots, and figured it'd probably be just about as much if I went to the local Walmart down here. Walmart did have his shots, and I took 2 days off so that I could get things arranged, get them registered, get everything like that. I was going to try to get down to their schools, but their schools closed at 1 while they were doing administration stuff. And my husband gets off at 2:30, so that didn't exactly work out that hot. But I got his shots. One of them contained tetanus, so the poor guy cried. I would have cried. And I got updates on my shots, which you have to have hepatitis A here. Hepatitis A and hepatitis B are a thing here. So, but he got meningococcal, and he got his Tdap, which has tetanus. Oh gosh, it has about 4 different vaccines in one, which is rather nice if you're going to have it done. They still don't have insurance, so I have to wait until November or when the next enrollment is and see if I can get them into some type of insurance, because somehow my husband and I make too much to actually be on Medicaid and not enough to apply for regular insurance. I don't know, it's insane. So that's a bit of a nail biter. And my poor husband, when he signed on for his work, which he's been at for 4 months now, it can be a very frustrating and challenging job, but he seems to be enjoying it, aside from the frustrations and challenges so far. Because the way they did his paperwork and the way they kind of messed about with it a little bit too much, they didn't get it quite set up right, he missed his window for insurance. So I'm the only goofball who has insurance, so my shots didn't cost anything. My eldest's were kind of expensive, to the point where his eyes bugged out. And I was like, no, honey, I'd pay 5 times this just to make sure that you're healthy. I just want you to understand that now. So we both got our shots, and then we got him a treat, because that poor guy. And it's really nice that we can get them treats now. It's really nice that whenever they do something good, that we can reward them, that whenever we want to go out and eat on a Friday, we can do that. We don't do that very often, but it's nice to have the ability to do those things, not have to worry overly much. I still worry. That's always going to be in the back of my mind. And the last couple of months, while we've been getting caught up, have been a bit of a clincher, especially as we've been trying to get things for the household that are needed, like bed sheets. We picked up this lamp just because our overhead, the lights burn out on that thing constantly, and I'm just done with it. We got a lamp. So the last couple of weeks have been rather exciting. And as you guys know, work has been kind of overload. One of the reasons why is, of course, as you know, I moved from the call center area to data entry. Anybody who's been following me in my hit and miss posts for the last year, I moved from the call center itself into data entry, which handles emails, chats, things like that. I haven't touched a chat in a couple of months. And one of the reasons why is because of the lack of people. We had a 5-man team originally. but one of the team always works on, getting things filed, things like that, taking care of return labels whenever she can. She does that bulk of the work. We have another guy. I should always include him. He's our sixth man, and I should not have left him out. He's very important. He takes care of Facebook, and he takes care of Hispanic calls and things like that. So he deals a lot with the Spanish side. And then we had 4 more, me included. One of them got moved to an elite position. And this was about 2 or 3 months ago. He got moved into the elite section where they deal with just our top people. And another one of them, but maybe a couple weeks after that, got moved into team lead. Left me and just one other girl. That girl last month, she moved on to another job. She found something else. I hope she's happy. I wish her nothing but the best. But this left me dealing with all the emails. Now, as time had gone on, I slowly got used to taking on more and more of the work as people started dropping off. So now I'm the only one who does the emails. Surprisingly, taking Thursday and Friday off, plus the weekend, I knew I'd be walking into hell. It seems that some of our elite people and some people out in the call center took on some of the emails, but of course they couldn't take on all of them. So I walked into about 300 of them. Not this last week, but the week before last. So I walked into that on the 20th, and it has been high riding ever since. In the last couple of months, I have had to struggle to clear my inboxes by the time I leave. Not this week, but the week before last was, the week of the 20th was kind of one of those. Actually, it was the week just before the 20th. Yeah, it was the week of the 12th to the 17th. Yeah, that was an interesting week. So it was the last week of my kiddos having vacation. It was the week where I was walking into just hell every day because the emails just kept piling and just kept piling. But, when I left on that Friday, I still had 20 in there. And my boss told me, you know what? Quit busting your butt. Quit making it look easy. Because if you continue to do that, they're going to continue to leave you here by yourself. A fine example is 3 weeks ago, right about the time when I was worrying about getting the eldest his shots and things like that, we had a new guy that moved into our section. Well, the lady who was the team lead, the one who became a team lead, she used to do mostly pending transactions, overseeing things like that to make sure there's nothing hinky and that everything matches up and everything goes where it's supposed to go. And he took over her job. So I'm still the only one doing emails. So I got my kiddo taken care of at the very beginning of August. I got him his shots, made sure everything was out of the way. Coughed up $75 to his school for various things, textbooks, things like that. Coughed up another $60, $30 each for their accounts for lunch. But pretty much made the determination at that time that could get very expensive extremely quickly, and that's not something that I can do. For the last year and a half, we have been able to get them on reduced or free. Make too much this time around. So, yeah, that kind of didn't happen. So I've been, I got everything set up so I could start to make them lunch. So that whole entire week was just, the week of the 12th to the 17th was just high riding crazy. But we also had really cool things going on around that time too. We had all kinds of events going on at my work, little thank yous and little swag bags with stuff that come from our company. So it was kind of cool. And right at the end of the week, there's a huge party. that everybody's invited to. Now, generally the call center can't go. And as data entry, we usually don't. I mean, most of the call center can't go. We shouldn't go. Well, this time around, the big boss said, yeah, no, that's not going to happen. You guys aren't on the phones. You guys just cover a whole plethora of work that you didn't even start out with. And you keep this stuff nailed down. So you all deserve a treat. Come down, join the party. So that's what we did. And it was excellent. It was Hawaiian-themed food, Hawaiian dances, things like that from a couple that actually takes care of the Polynesian Center down here. And it was just super cool. And then they did a raffle, and they did a raffle last year too, and it's really, really hard to win anything because there's just so many people, so many employees there, and they only have a limited number. Anybody who's in the call center automatically gets whatever, if their name is called, they automatically get it. And it's just because the standard rules are if you aren't there, you don't get the prize. The call center can't be there, so they automatically get it. Well, I was lucky enough to actually be there, so I got to see a lot of the prizes get handed out. Our CFO is hilarious. I adore him. Him and the guy who were handing out the prizes, they were just loads and loads of fun. I was just enjoying myself. They had some really cool things. I mean, they had like 4 iPads. They had pillows and blankets and things like that. They had luggage with our company's name stamped on them. So I mean, really good. Samsonite luggage. Let's be specific. Samsonite. You already know that's some good luggage. That's some hefty luggage. They had a couple of gaming consoles, things like that. I mean, I'm talking like the old classic NES games on the new console for them. They had Xbox One S. They had all kinds of cool things like that. But none of us really expect to win anything. I mean, there's just so many people there. Yeah. So when they called my name for the Xbox One S, because they held it up, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I mean, anybody who gets that, I hope they love the hell out of that. That'd just be freaking awesome. So on the 17th, I won an Xbox One S from my work. It's really freaking cool. I love this thing. It was one of those things where hubby and I had talked about what gaming console we get, and we're PlayStation people. We're 100% PlayStation people. But we were like, if we get an Xbox and we get this, the newest Xbox, the Xbox One, it'll probably be one of the last things we get. It's one of the more expensive ones. It does have some great games though, but it's one of the more expensive ones. We'll save that one for last. So I got an Xbox One S. I was thrilled to bits. I'm like, oh my god, this is awesome. So I brought it home, and of course all the kiddos want to play on it, but Mama gets it first. I mean, it comes with like 3 months of a Game Pass, which means any of the games that are featured on that Game Pass, I can try out without having to pay for it. It also comes with Live Gold, which means if I do plan to buy any games, they're at a reduced price, and I get more games featured there. So that's kind of cool. So one of the reasons why I've been finding it difficult to get on here as much as I'd like, besides time and time hating me, is I've been playing around with my new Xbox One S. Well, when we got it, of course, it really helps if you have an internet connection. Otherwise, you can't really use any of these things. For the longest time, we've been here, and we haven't had the ability to get internet connection. It's one person at a time. Either this computer's hooked in, or hubby's computer is hooked in, because there's only one line. There is nothing else. They do not offer a modem. They don't offer any of that. So though technically, we probably shouldn't have done it, but we were getting really, really sick of that anyway. We tried last year to get a Belkin, And I told my husband getting a Belkin was a really bad idea because they are horrible. We wound up taking it right back. It's a horrible system. So we got the Xbox. He had just gotten paid. He was like, you know what? This is stupid. Find out what the best Wi-Fi, basically something like Evos, I think was the name of it. Something like that. Something that can get Wi-Fi throughout the entire house off our one connection. We need to get it. We've been tossing this around forever. Your Xbox One S is not going to be any good without it. It would really be helpful if our Xbox 360 also had constant updates. That'd be nice. And it would actually help with our television, which I believe it's a smart television. Yeah. So we got it. We were looking for an Asus, believe it or not. One of the new Asus, EUS66, I believe it is. But Walmart doesn't carry that. I mean, it's right within the price range too, just below $200. Well, I wound up getting an Orbi from Netgear. I can't recommend this thing enough. I can't recommend it enough. This is the best system ever. Little bit of a headache to set up if you don't know what you're doing with these things, but once we got it set up and once we figured out exactly how it was supposed to set up, it's been a breeze. It's absolutely 100% perfect. Before I know it, I mean, my Xbox One S is now up and running, and I'm playing like Resident Evil 0, which I had never played before, off of Game Pass, and that's really freaking cool. Well, it took us a couple of days to get the TV to understand it, because the TV was trying to capture it, and it just didn't want to capture it. Well, now, instead of watching Netflix on my computer, I can watch Netflix here and be on my computer, but yeah, for the last week, I've been so busy fiddling around with everything. I haven't been where I wanted to be and where I'm supposed to be. But I have been trying to make this post for the last week and a half. Every time I went to go make the post, here comes a kiddo walking through the door. Hey, Mom, what you doing? Or here comes my husband. Hey, honey, what are you doing? Are you out here talking to yourself? No, I was out here getting ready to make a post, but never mind, I guess that's not important. So, work has been crazy. Completely 100% nuts for the last 2 months. But I took 2 days off about 3 weeks ago, got everything arranged, got everything pulled together, and won an Xbox One S, which is really freaking cool. And then school starts. So on this last Monday, on the 20th, we missed the orientation. I had to be at work. Mondays, you kind of have to be there. I had to be at work, so we weren't able to go. And I really didn't want my eldest kiddo getting on the bus, even though that was an option, to go to his orientation and leave his brother here all by himself. That's just not an option. So he kind of had to miss orientation, but from what I understand, that's a thing that happens. But I did get off of work. It was my very last day. For the last couple of months, I've been saying hell with it, waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning with my husband and him dropping me off my workplace. I hang out for about an hour and 15 minutes, and then I go into work. So my work schedule was 7 to 4. Well, 7 to 3:30, because I usually only take about half an hour lunch. Well, Monday was my last day to do that, because of course I have to get the kiddos to school. So on the 20th, hubby picked me up, and then I came home, gathered up the kiddos, and I was like, okay, should I go to Jaden's school or should I go to Ronan's school? We wound up going to Ronan's school just because I wanted to know. Now, it's a junior high. I went to middle school. They have junior high here. So, he just hit 7th grade. So we walk into this place and it's freaking huge. It is so huge. I'm like, oh my God. So we only get about maybe half an hour, 45 minutes to walk to about 2 or 3 different classrooms and get a feel for what's going on. From what I understand, he's thrilled to bits. He's going to be he's going to be playing viola for beginning orchestra, which 7th grade is okay, probably a little bit late to start. I started around 2nd or 3rd grade, but it makes him happy. And so I'm going to be renting the instrument from school. A little bit of a crunch there. I just got done coughing up about $120 altogether, so now I'm trying to figure out how to get. It's still $150. It seems to have always been that. It's $150 to rent his viola. So, but they will allow me to make payments. So that's awesome. I tried to get pictures because they did pictures on Thursday, but he keeps forgetting to hand over the daggone envelope, and the window is now on that. So it looks like I'm not going to be getting pictures. We actually have the ability to get pictures from their school now, and my eldest forgets to turn in the paperwork. So it has been actually a pretty good week. I managed to keep all my emails cleared. We had a stack of what we call returns, paperwork on things that have been returned. It was just monstrous, and we managed to get that whittled down. Call center helped. Anybody that was within our group, our area, really just helped knock those out. We got it down to about that, so that's not too bad. And I walked out of work with no work left to be done this week, so awesome. We helped a friend of ours move into an apartment here. Well, my husband did. Groceries are taken care of. My littlest, unfortunately, he started off today with a bit of a fever. He really wasn't feeling that hot. So I'm hoping he'll feel better by tomorrow, because if not, it looks like I will be calling in on Monday, which is something they really hate you doing, but I really hate the idea of leaving my smallest either in school when he's sick or at home by himself. That's not going to happen. So it has been quite a whirlwind last couple of weeks, getting the kiddos set for school, getting the eldest his shots, getting shots for myself because insurance, winning an Xbox of all things, getting a Wi-Fi system, which we've needed for quite a while. And it has been a whirlwind couple of weeks. Well, I did something else today. We probably do this about every 8 months or so, just to see if we can, to try to alleviate ourselves and give us a little bit of wiggle room if need be. And I called to open up a reserve line. Now, this was something we had with our bank, oh gosh, well over a decade ago. Well, when they changed how the checking accounts were, that's something they dropped out. I mean, it was an automatic that came with the checking account that you could get if you wanted when we first opened up these accounts. Well, about a decade ago, reserve lines were gone. They were dropped from all accounts. Credit lines were dropped from all accounts. Well, I pulled up the bank yesterday and was like, this really wouldn't hurt, because we've been playing this slow catch-up for the last couple of months since hubby's gotten this job. I mean, he started in June, and it's just been this slow kind of catch-up. Yeah, it's been a bit of a crazy one. So while he's been working, we've been playing catch up. At first, it was you remember this, we're $500 short of rent. Last month it was we're $300, but we managed to actually wiggle that one through. This time around, it'll probably be about $200, so we're getting there. I was like, we just might fall short again. And I was like, well, we can take the Orby back. And my husband's like, that's not going to happen. And I was like, well, we can probably sell the Xbox. And my husband's like, that's not going to happen. And I'm like, well, I am not going to be hopping up on Livejournal and asking people to help out. That's not going to happen. So I was like, heck with it. I'll see if I can get a reserve line. What's the worst thing they can do? They can say no, and then I'll figure out something else, just to make sure that we are all set. I was not prepared for them to say yes. Turns out we make enough, and things are steady enough, and we've had our jobs long enough that they gave us a reserve line. I'm still not quite sure what to do with that. So that means if we do come up short, through my calculations, we're probably going to be a little bit short. If we do come up short, we're still okay, because I can just get from the reserve line to make up for where we're short, and then pay that back over a period of time. I still don't quite know what to do with this. So, though things have been crazy and things have been hectic, it's settling down to an extent where I can now actually, even though it's 1:41 in the morning here, 2:16 in the morning here, I can actually stop and breathe. I can watch something and be on my computer at the same time. I can finish my work and not have to worry about my next paycheck or will it cover everything, because I have a reserve line. I have an Xbox free and clear. I mean, I'll probably have to pay taxes on it at the end of the year. But beyond that, it constantly amazes me and occasionally stumbles me how much better things are here. I lose time a lot, and I mean, now my time's definitely back to being short again because of the times that I work. But things are so much better here. And we don't plan to stay here forever. We just don't. And but we do plan to move on and for things to get better than they are here. And I can actually contemplate that without going insane. It's just completely mind-boggling to me that we went from being so short of everything and so tight and constantly at the mercy of everything around us to getting back on our feet and things getting good. And if that can happen to me, I know that can happen for everyone. And I really want it to. I really want all of us to do better, to feel better, to feel that bit of a stagger that I got when I found out that I was going to be getting a reserve line, that they weren't saying no. There's just really nothing better than that, I think. It's really hard feeling to describe. I miss you guys. I miss you more than I can say. I wish that was something that I could come up with as more time. I'm hoping that in the mornings I can get more time. That would be supremely lovely. And it's just because I'm still getting up at the same time because I have to wake the eldest, get him breakfast, get his lunch pulled together, get him out the door, wake the baby, get him breakfast, get his lunch pulled together, get him out the door, and then head to work myself from there. So I'm pretty sure I can find the time somewhere in there. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. It's run too long. It's a post that's kind of all over the place. But I wanted to convey what's been going on, how things have been going. I mean, work was insane, and I've got it down to where it's manageable again. And I've been keeping it that way, and I think that's something else that just amazes me, that I've been keeping it manageable. One person doing the work of 3 people, and I've been managing to keep it where it's manageable. So I'm rather proud of me over that. My husband is doing impossible things that are only going to benefit him in the future, because he can do those impossible things. My eldest loves school again. My youngest is just as happy as he always is. And though he isn't feeling very good right now, please stop and think about the baby and send him some well wishes if you can. And we're doing better. We're doing better than ever before, and I never, ever, ever forget that we would not be here doing better if it wasn't for the people that I miss so very much, that I haven't been able to see as much of as I would like to in the last year. So I'm going to, as always, work on managing my time better, something that I never had to do before, but I'm definitely going to have to work on. I'm always telling myself that, and one day I'll get a handle on that. And not only will things be better, but I'll actually have time too. That would be just mind-boggling. So it will happen, and I will get to see you guys again and let you know each and every day how much I appreciate you, how much I've missed you, and just how very, very much I love you guys. And I've never forgotten your words, your support, your monetary donations got us to where we are now. We would not be where we are without each and every one of you. And I never, ever, ever forget that. So, I'm not going to say it, though I know that I'll be thinking it. I hope to see more of you all very, very soon. And I want you to take good care of yourselves. Take good care of each other. And I will see you guys on the other side.